It's got the right battery, 1536 watt hours of power, but is the unit any good? Let's go ahead and put it to the test. Hey everybody, welcome back to RandomFix. So I got the Pecron E1500LFP. The LFP is for lithium iron phosphate, and this is the battery chemistry that you want. However, does this unit have any downsides? And in this video today, I'm going to be putting that to the test. I do have the Pecron 200 watt solar panel, which is pretty neat, and it's ultra portable. So we're going to see the performance of that. And I also have the app installed. So I think you're really going to like this video, and you guys are going to get the first glimpse on what's going to happen here with this Mercedes here, as portable power stations are going to play a pretty big role. And again, it's super cold, and I'm definitely excited to share the Sprinter with you guys. We got an expert here with camper vans. Are you ready to build another one?
Yeah.
Is it cold today?
It's really cold.
If you had snot in your nose, do you think it will turn into ice?
Maybe in less than a millisecond.
All right. At least the wind calmed down.
True. It's still cold though.
So if you like this kind of content, you like saving money, knowing what to look out for, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to the channel as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the testing. But before we do that, let's see what's included with the E1500 LFP, and then we'll start the testing. And towards the end of the video, I'll give this a RandomFix tool grade, and that way you can decide for yourself. Currently, the temperature is 39 degrees, and tonight it's going to drop down to 22. And there's some things that you should definitely pay attention to when you are getting a portable power station, especially for winter use. Now let's talk about what's included in the box, and then we'll jump into the size and some of the specs. So included in the box, we get a car lighter adapter. And the car lighter adapter is not going to be ultra fast compared to the wall, obviously. It's very easy to use, and it plugs into this port right here. This is the same port I can use for a low wattage solar panel, which I will cover a little bit later. And there's one next to it because this has the option to go and take different voltage solar panels, which is pretty unique, and it has a really nice range. So car charger, then we get the wall charger, and the wall charger is just a regular computer wire, and it plugs right into the front right here. And once plugged in, I can go through and charge the unit at over 1400 watts. And this does have an application, which I will be using throughout the video. And also up top, we have a wireless charger. So I have a case on my phone, and when I slide it into place here, it starts taking charge right there. So now I can wirelessly charge my device when I go camping. Then we get a legacy port here for solar charging. So these are called MC4 connectors here. And this particular plug will fit right into here. It just slides in. There's no twisting or anything else required. It slides right in, and I hook up my panels to here. One side has input voltage of 32 to 95 volts, and then 12 to 18 volts. I have their solar panel here, and I'll be showing the performance of that too. I have the 200 watt panel. Then we get an owner's manual, and the owner's manual, honestly, it's kind of nice, and it's not too thick. Full color, and goes into some basic troubleshooting. And all these accessories can stay organized in this nice soft shell case with a zipper for easy travels. Now let's talk about the unit itself. Let's start off with size. So the unit is going to be about 15 inches across, 12 inches high, and about 9.5 inches deep. It does weigh 40 pounds. However, that is definitely portable, as this has two handles. And compared to some of the other portable power stations that are in the market that weigh over 60 pounds, I definitely think this is going to have no issues as far as portability. Let's look at the layout of the power station here. So if we turn it to the side, we have the intake fans here. So these will actually suck air in. On this side, we also have the expansion port. So I can plug this into auxiliary batteries and get more out of this unit. And this is the port, and there's a nice cover for it. There's nothing on the back side here. And on the other side, I have the exhaust vent. So this will actually push the air out. And while the unit is charging, they do get a little loud. So it is not whisper quiet because it's always charging on a fast mode. On the front, we have those two solar inputs. Then here's the charging port for AC power. And the app is really nice because I can go through and change a lot of the settings for the charging input. So I can go through, change the wattage, the frequency, and also auto time off. Very easy to understand interface. And one other thing about this application is the fact I can easily share this. So I like the sharing feature on this. And right now we're running this on iOS. And to the left of that is going to be a fuse. And I am going to overload this unit during the video. So we're going to find out if there's something that we actually have to do in case we overload it. And then we come to the three 20 amp plugs. And this unit is rated at 2200 watts. It also has a very high peak wattage. So if the power goes out at the house, I could plug my refrigerator into here and not worry about the unit tripping because the compressor on the refrigerator turns on. These are sine wave, so I could definitely run my laptop off this without any issues. And speaking of laptops, this has a 100 watt USB-C power delivery port here. So a lot of the newer laptops, including some of the lower end gaming laptops, can take this input and fully charge. I know because my kids do it pretty often. Then we have one 18 watt USB-C out, and these other three are rated at 18 watts, but they're USB-A connections. Now, one of my favorite features of this particular unit is going to be the DC power. And obviously, a lot of power stations come with a power port, and these are regulated at 10 amps. So I can plug my refrigerator into here and not worry about it. Then we have one 5 amp 5521 barrel connector. So I can plug in LED lights and things that take very little power. However, when I was showing you guys what was included, I didn't show off the main superstar of the unit. And I think it's actually this 30 amp output right here for 12 volt. So this is included, and you can use this in a lot of different ways. You can first use it to possibly jumpstart a vehicle. And I'm not encouraging this, but if I was stuck and my car wasn't starting, I would connect this right in here and connect it to my vehicle and let it slowly recharge my battery before I try to crank it. So I would wait at least 15 minutes and then try it. This is not really meant for this, and there is a fuse in here, so if you do overload it, the fuse is going to blow. And these are very easy to go and change out. Standard fuse. Just the fact that it comes with this port is a super big deal to me, as a lot of the units that I test don't have a lot of DC power. Then this one might have enough to even run a camper van, and you're going to have to go and check for yourself. But you definitely want to verify all your different loads before you do that. And the connector on here is a XT60. So normally they're yellow. And these are very inexpensive, and I'll leave you guys links to whole kits you can buy. And on the other side, you could just put terminal rings in and connect them to a distribution box or a fuse panel. And as long as you have the female end, and you can slide it right on in, right to your fuse box or your junction box, and now you have 30 amps of DC power. Super cool. Little adapters to go from XT60 to XT90 are easily found on the market. So you could do a lot of cool stuff. So I really love the DC port here. And setting up the application is ultra easy. And the directions are right up here. And so far, I've had really good experience with the range of the application and the built-in Wi-Fi. I'm not sure if I go camping with no internet connection, if it'll still work. So I'll definitely get this far away from the house and seeing if I can still communicate with it via just Bluetooth, which is essential a lot of times if you're not at home. So this has a built-in EMS, and it's supposed to be pretty fast. Let's go ahead and test this out. And the idea here is if the power goes out, it will go and switch to the unit's power. So basically it's kind of like pass-through power. So I plugged it in the wall first, turn on the AC ports, and the light has got power. So now I'm going to unplug it and seeing if I can actually notice some sort of downtime on the light and how fast the switchover actually occurs. Well, that was pretty fast. I did notice that the light did dim for a very short time. However, it turned on without any issues. Let's plug it back in. Okay, so now it's taking the grid power again. And if I unplug it again, same thing, it just automatically switches over. Now let's talk about the display. As the display is a nice size display and it's very visible. You can definitely see this. It does dim out, however you can disable that in the app. And the app does a really good job of representing all this information as well. So we have the app running, and this is the wattage in, wattage out, and this is the amount of time that the unit will basically last for under its current load. So if I unplug it, it will change. When the UPS or EMS mode is enabled, it'll let you know right here. We have the Wi-Fi connection here, and we're currently plugged in. So everything updates without a big lag. The sky is always nice and blue when it is extremely cold. And for the cold, I'm going to bring out a heat gun. So I'm going to let this heat gun run until the E1500 completely discharges. And one of the reasons that I'm so excited about this particular unit is the price per watt hour. This is the lowest price per watt hour out of any power station I've ever tested. It's coming in at 45.5 on the retail price. And I do have a special coupon you guys can check out down below if you guys want to save even more money. But this is the lowest out of any power station I've tested, even bigger ones that are 4,000 watt hours. Most of the times the power stations start at about 70 to 80 cents and can even go up to 90 cents per watt hour on some of the smaller units. This is coming in at 45. So as far as value, this is definitely looking like a winner. So let's keep the tests going. Right now it's 35 degrees, and while I'm waiting for the unit discharge, I did want to mention that I put a lot of time and effort into these videos. So if you guys don't know that, I do. And sometimes the weather does not go along with you. So today is freezing. But I hope you guys are learning something and you guys are enjoying the video as I'm trying to keep it fresh and let you guys see the blue sky out here as I'm filming this video. So if you guys like this, give the video a thumbs up. If you guys are excited about the camper build, let me know down below as well. And if you guys are wondering why I don't go inside the camper instead, because when a van is not insulated, it just turns into a big metal freezer. All right, so the unit got under about 3%. And it died, so it's currently showing 0, and obviously it's not turning on. And let's try to turn on one more time. It's showing 0. Since it's freezing outside, I'm going to let this charge up all the way. I have it hooked up to a meter here that lets me know all the power it will take in. And we'll talk a little bit more about temperature and why this is important, especially in the cold, when it comes down to charging a portable power station. And I do have it hooked up to a meter here that will let me know how many watt hours it takes in. Then we can compare that to how many watt hours this actually puts out. Today we're going to be doing some extreme loads. So to charge the unit, it took 1.839 kilowatt hours. And let's go ahead and reset this to see how many kilowatt hours the unit will actually put out. So now we are reading 0. I'm going to plug this in. I have this electric burner here with a pot and some water. And let's go ahead and crank this up. So this is cranked up. It's outputting about 1145 watts into the burner. And we're just going to let this roll and see what happens. So the total capacity on paper is 1536 watt hours. So that should be 1.536 if it had 100% efficiency. Now, no portable power station actually works at 100% efficiency. If you get a good one, it'll be above 80%. I have seen units that perform at 85 and even a little bit higher, but that's under certain loads. So the slower the load discharge, around 400 watts, the better off it will do. This is a much heavier load here at almost 1150 watts. So let's see how well this does. We are down to 30%. And everything's looking good. We are down to 29%. And we have to keep things interesting. So I got the heat gun going and we got the stovetop working. So we are close to 1800 257 watts. Let's see if this can maintain this load. Everything's working perfectly, and we are down to 26%. The output right now is at 700 because this cycles on and off once it reaches temperature. We're back at 1841 watts. Let's see if it can actually hold this, and let's see what happens when we put this on the second setting. Output is definitely going to read a little bit higher now. Just from the heat gun, we're at 1400. So we have a delay here, but this is reading 2300. This is reading 2300 now. So 2300 watts. Let me do the 10-second test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow. Pretty impressive, guys. Over 2200 watts, and it did not bug out. And I'm just going to let this run. Alright guys, this definitely has a lot of power. So when I started this over an hour ago, I thought for sure this would be dead by now. So I had to throw the heat gun in the mix, as I have a parent-teacher conference tonight, and I can't be late for that. So I'm going to stop this test, and I'm going to continue it tonight, so that way you guys know exactly what you're getting. So see you when it's dark. Turning it off. Okay, everything's off. Alright, so I'm back, and we're going to drain this down completely. I got the heat gun running, I got the little cooktop running, and we still got a count here on the kilowatt hours. And let's let this roll. We are down to 13%. Alright, so it looks like everything stopped. Let's check out how many hours it outputted. So the output is 1.243 kilowatts. And I'll show an efficiency score for this, so you can go ahead and judge it yourself. And let's look at these ultra portable panels here from Pecron. These are 200 watt panels, and I connected these the very first day I started using these. So currently they're getting about 112 to 114 watts, which is pretty impressive considering the fact I didn't really optimize them and try to get the perfect orientation. Now let's see how easy it is to go and connect the unit. And I apologize because it's a little bit later in the day, so we may not get the best performance, but I normally get about 168 to 160 watts out of these panels. Currently, they are putting out about 114, and they're very easy to connect. So they go into the left port here, and this wire was included to the MC4 connectors, and this just takes a few minutes to go and set up. I do have to disclose that these panels are ultra light. Because they're ultra light, they're not going to be the greatest for windy days. So a few of the days I did use them when it was really windy, they did go ahead and blow over. And again, the output is good. 131 watts on a day like today, where it's not 100% sunny. There's definitely clouds in the sky. We're actually expecting snow, and schools are canceled tomorrow. So these are still working great, and they're very portable, and they feature these really cool snaps, which makes it really easy to go ahead and fold up. And if I keep my panels clean, I may even get better performance. Now let's talk about solar charging while you have it plugged into the wall. So once I plug it into solar, it'll go through and prioritize solar charging over AC. So as the solar goes down, because the sun's going down, AC is going to kick up. There's a lot of great portable power stations that are on the market that do not do this. Instead, they will pull all the current from the wall. This is definitely refreshing that the unit is smart. One thing that I do want to mention as far as charging in the display, I'm not able to actually figure out how much of the 1370 is actually coming in from solar and how much of it is coming in from the wall unless I'm using the app. So the app is definitely informative. I wish the display actually gave me a better breakdown. Another thing that's really important is going to be the output voltage of the unit. Some units really can deceive you as they can power on your device. However, the voltage is not at a level which may be safe for ultra sensitive electronics. So we're going to go and test this out as we completely discharge the unit. So this is shore power right now, and the wall is putting out 122.5 volts. Not from the unit, it's actually coming from the wall. So now let's check out the power output from the unit as far as voltage. So the voltage from here is at 119. This is safe. So anything really above 110 is okay in my opinion, but you don't want to get down into the 105 volt range. So now let's plug this in and see what happens. Okay, so the voltage definitely jumped up to a higher voltage here. The UPS icon turned on right here. So we're running off shore power and it's showing at 120.2 volts. This is good, acceptable. Now let's completely discharge this unit and put it under some extreme loads and seeing what happens. 1500 watt heater. So I'm going to plug the heater in and disconnect the unit from the wall. Unit is disconnected from the wall. Heater's plugged in. Currently the heater's taking in 1500 watts. And this is a really big load. Again, it's not plugged into the shore power at all. My goal here is to basically reset the unit. So I want it to trip out, seeing what happens. And I want to find out if this fuse needs to be changed in case I overload it. Now I have the heat gun. And if I run the heat gun at 700 watts, and that's going to be okay. And with the heat gun and the heater working, the unit is outputting over 2200 watts at 2209. And it's supposed to be able to handle this. The voltage is holding steady at 119. But now let's go ahead and trigger this into the higher setting here. And there it goes, the unit overloaded. And right in the corner here is showing overload. The fan is on. And let's see what we have to do to go reset this. Okay, so I have reset it. And the overload icon stopped flashing. So nothing I physically had to do, which is nice because I don't have to worry about this fuse. The AC ports have power again. Now let's let that heater run again. Heater's running. We got close to 1500 watts being outputted. And I'm just going to let this drain all the way down. Having the heater on in the garage is definitely helping, but this cold is not going away. And let me turn the camera around. So the unit is down to 21%. Voltage is holding at 119. And we still got 1500 watts going out to the heater. Let's go and increase this load. So now the load is at 2189 watts. Let's check the voltage. Okay. Voltage is at 118 with a load this big. This is definitely impressive. Now let's go and monitor this as the battery is going to be fully depleted. And now the unit has turned back on and it's pretty impressive. The unit actually put out 1.383 kilowatt hours, and this is a little bit more efficient than the previous test. So with all the testing out of the way, let's go ahead and give this a RandomFix tool grade so you guys can decide for yourself. So before we jump into the scoring, I do want to mention that I have tested this unit pretty extensively and I really tried to give it a run for its money, and the unit has done pretty well. So I do want to thank the vendor for sending me this, and as always guys, I'm going to keep my reviews honest so that way you guys know exactly what you're getting and the vendor knows how to improve the product in the future and they don't get a whole bunch of returns. So there's a lot of good things about the unit. So I like the fact that the unit has a lot of capacity at over 1500 watt hours. It's an amazing amount of power in a small package like this. It's still portable at 40 pounds. It's got the right solar inputs, so you can go up to 800 on the solar with 700 coming from the high voltage and 100 coming from the lower voltage. On top of that, it's got really good charging, and I love the fact that it comes with this cable. This cable literally for me is the complete winner, as it allows me to tap into these XT60 connections with 30 amps out. So I can almost run a camper van off this. And if you don't want to destroy the cable, you don't have to. You can just get yourself another XT60 connector and basically splice in between. And you can keep it alligator clips when you want to, or XT60 connectors when you don't. And you guys will find those links down below. They come in a variety of different adapters. Super easy, trust me on that. It's got that wireless charger up top, which is great. It was operating at over 80% efficiency, and it's got a decent warranty. So it's got a 2+3 warranty. Overall, it's a great unit. Again, with the coupon that I have included down below, as well as at the end of the video, you're gonna get this for 43 cents per watt hour. And there's some things that I think that the unit can definitely improve on. One of them is gonna be this USB-C. I cannot charge my Lenovo laptop here with a USB-C connected. So just want to show you guys that it's working. So currently I have it plugged into here, and you can see that the unit is charging right down there. However, when I plug it into the 100 watt USB-C, nothing. And I even tried with other laptops as well. So I have no idea what's going on, but I will try it on one other laptop, and I'll let you guys know in the video description box down below if something has changed. And I did try different shorter cables, and nothing works. And hopefully it's just a firmware update. And another thing that is great about the unit and also sucks is the fact that this is a fast charging unit. I normally like to charge my units slow. So with the app, I do not get the option to change the charge rate. It's always charging above 1400 watts whenever possible. And when it gets to 99%, it stays at 99% for a pretty long time as it's just topping it off. So the shunt is accurate, but just not on the extremes. Between 95 and 100%, it's not the most accurate, and below 5 to 0%, it's not the most accurate, which is pretty common. And that's pretty normal because most lithium iron phosphate batteries will go ahead and hold above 12 volts. And then once they get down into the 5% range, they really just dive down. So the same thing happens on the charge. And it also doesn't have a light. Another thing that I tested was going to be the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi on this works great, no issues. And you can use the unit with just Bluetooth. However, right now, I have been trying for the last hour and I cannot get the unit to communicate via Bluetooth. If they fix those few issues, I think this unit is definitely really over the top of most units on the market in this price range. For under $700, you're gonna get a lot of power, and it's still lightweight. And the kicker, this wire to me is the kicker, as you can even start your car with it very slowly and very carefully when you're in a bind. And with that said, I have updated the scoring model for 2025, so it is going to be a little bit more thorough. So the 11th criteria that I'm going to judge from now on is going to be cold weather protection. So this particular unit has cold weather protection. However, once it gets down to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, it will no longer accept a charge. It can still discharge. However, once it gets down really into the cold extremes, and I'll display the exact temperature on the screen, it will stop discharging as well. So this has no heating element built in, where it basically warms up the batteries so it can actually take a charge. I think that's a really nice option to have, especially in a camper van. So with all that said, I'm going to give this a RandomFix tool grade of 85 out of 100. And I think with the quick firmware update, this unit is definitely going to be one that I could easily recommend to you guys. So don't be afraid to use that coupon code down below. It does support the channel, and I'll also leave you guys a link to it at the end of the video. I'll leave you guys a whole playlist so you guys can learn more about different power stations and some of the other options that are available. And I've had a lot of fun recording this video for you guys. So hopefully you guys learned something new. If you did, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button as well. This is the calm before the storm, and I am ready. I got my power station fully charged. And if you guys like power stations, you like to go ahead and make sure you're ready and you don't want to go and break the bank, check out my video on how I did a DIY home backup solution that's automatic. So when the power goes out, it'll automatically kick in. There's nothing for me to worry about. And I spent less than $600 on it, including the power station. And you can easily do this with the Pecron unit as well. It cannot be any simpler, and I give you guys all the details on how you could safely do this, and you could probably do it under 1 hour. If there's something in this video I did not mention that you feel is important, please let me know what it is so I can go ahead and add it to another video. Make sure you guys stay tuned for 2025, as it's going to be a really exciting year. I got the camper build happening, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks again. You'll find those links in that video that I'm mentioning at the end here.